Hi everyone, thanks again for tuning into my channel. This is Spring Porter with Spring Solutions LLC. In this video, I'm talking about bankruptcy unclaimed funds in Canada. I have a few people that will periodically email me or send me a message and they're like, hey, can I do this in Canada? Well, you have unclaimed funds in Canada that you can do this. I don't have all of the details as much as I have for working it in the US, but I can give you some general information that I just found doing a simple Google search. I found a website that you can do bankruptcy unclaimed funds. Now, if you are American living in Canada, you can do bankruptcy unclaimed funds in the US. You have to have, or one of the requirements that the court is asking for is that you either have a social security number or you have to have an EIN number. Okay, and so those are the requirements that you actually have to fill in a form and sign it and send it to the court. So you're not going to be able to do that if you're Canadian with that, not having that information. And then there is a course that I offer that's $250 where you're just filling in the documents. Now you could be Canadian and do that particular program because the court is not paying you directly and they don't need that tax identification number. They only need that for the client. So, and this is a harder course to sell, but it is, I've gotten paid by doing this too, where I contact individuals in certain areas and I say, hey, you have money, left over. I'm going to fill in the documents for you in exchange for a fee. And that is basically how you can get paid on that. So if you wanted to do that particular process, you could, or you could just simply just work the unclaimed funds that are in your area because you're going to know basically the area and the districts. So I'm sorry, this is my American ignorance as far as like how many courts for bankruptcy unclaimed funds. I don't really know how many you have there. Now in our country we have US territories, we have 50 states, and there's a bankruptcy corresponding court for each of those districts, for each of those states and US territories. I'm not sure if they have that for the territories or individual territories in your country. From the site that I saw, it appears that it's just kind of lumped all together under this particular site. So some information is better than nothing at all. I think what you should do if you're Canadian wanting to work bankruptcy unclaimed funds is probably seek an attorney, do your own research. That's going to be your best bet. This is what I could find just doing a very general like if I were to do it in Canada and if I were Canadian, this is where I would look. That's kind of the kind of search that I did. It was very, basic level search. All right, so I hope that this information is helpful and I'll show you the site right now. Okay, everyone, so this is the website that I found. It's ic.gc.ca. This is the government of Canada. If I go back, let me just show you what I typed to get to this search bar engine in Google. I've been playing with it to try to figure out how to find. I think I just typed unclaimed funds in Canada bankruptcy. And this is the first thing that popped up. So I clicked on this. Just brought me to the website that I just showed you, right? So it's ic.gc.ca. And then you're gonna look essentially for the same thing that I always speak about on the side, something right here, unclaimed dividend search. Now, this is the office under insolvency or for business. So it's talking about just bankruptcy claims. So they're cited, it's different than the unclaimed fund locator in the States, right? This is how it's listed here. And if you go to the bottom, I think that this is interesting that they put this here and it's helpful, and it tells you how many records are in the database and what's the total amount. So there are currently 136,581 records in the database with a total amount of 25,546,222. The largest single amount of unclaimed fund dividend is 179,636, and it says the date that it was modified. And I think up here it says, yeah, the database was updated on the 3rd. So it's pretty recent, just 3 days ago, they updated it, right? So they don't just have you can't just click search is what I'm saying. You have to type in either the debtor's name or the creditor's name. Now, how would you do that? You don't know anyone who's filed bankruptcy. You can go with typing in common names, maybe like Brown. These are advanced search, so unclaimed dividends larger than $1 or $30. Let's just leave it there and see if we can get the most. I'm gonna type in, I guess the range, it has to be like up to a year. So I'm gonna click on this little calendar, and I'm gonna go back just a few months. I just want to see. Well, that's a year, but let's see. Okay, let's go back to January and see what happens. And I'm gonna leave this blank. And then I just search. So I'm doing Brown. Anybody with the last name Brown, or maybe the first name. Any amount over $30 since January. Let's see what I can find. It looks like it's trying to search here. So I found a few. Now that's one way to search. It doesn't bring you a whole lot. I have 10 entries just from the common name Brown. But I did find something. So here, it's a little similar in that it gives you the creditor's last known, address and things like that. It gives you the person that filed bankruptcy. And then it has, let me see. The unclaimed fund amount is in the middle. The estate claim, I'm assuming that is the case number, the date that it was filed, and then there's an actual claim and number for each of these. Now, what I don't know, I searched for the debtor named Brown. I do not know who is actually getting the funds back for this. I'm assuming that maybe it's the creditor because it has a claim number. See, I'm not really sure. This is what I know in America to be true, is if the names are the same, then it's usually the debtor who's getting the funds back. In this case, I just see everything is different. See the Fairstone Financial, and this is the client's name who filed bankruptcy. I am assuming that these funds actually go to the creditor, so everything that's on the left side. This is just my first initial glance at this now, so you're going to have to do further research. My word does not bond for this particular region of Canada. I don't know. But I am showing you this site so that you can do your further research. So it does give you this nice little chart, and from here on it says how to submit a claim. So you're going to have to do your research. Click on that. Figure out how to do it. Now, in Canada, they want you to pay a $30 fee. That is not something that we have to pay in America, a fee to do this. We only have to pay a fee if you're either transferring a claim to you or if you have to reopen a case. But other than just the regular claims that I've done, I never had to pay any money. But this is basically the instructions, like how I show you the instructions on our sites and states. This is the instruction for what you need. If you're doing it, collecting it, I guess, for an individual, or if you're doing it as a business, you have to follow which one you're doing. Proof of address is needed because I guess, obviously the one that's on here is probably, old. So they're saying that you need to provide proof of an updated utility bill or something of that sort. Maybe a copy of an ID, I'm not sure. Just go in here and review it. You also need a power of attorney, like all those documents. Click on here. It looks like they give you a sample. So you have to do your research. Then you have to forward the claim here. This is the bankruptcy headquarters, the trust fund administrator in Ontario. But again, I don't know if that's for all of your cases or just for the ones in this region. That is what I'm not sure of. I don't know if all of this is included on one database. It looks like it may be, but further research is needed. But this is where you should start. This is also giving you a business creditor claim. This is their, looks like they have an affidavit form. So everything is kind of, you can fill it in. There's a Word version, there's a PDF version here. You could kind of fill in your own jazz. Now, in America, we have access to searching for the case documents to find proof. I don't know where to do that here. I don't know how to log into a Canadian bankruptcy docket and find, if this was filed in already and verifying it. That I can't tell you. But what I can show you is this step, and at the very least, you can call the office and maybe, here and get further information, or maybe the trustee's office there. Let me do another search. Let's see what I can find under maybe the creditor name. Let's just type bank. And I'm going to leave that same January date and see what I come up with. So you're going to have to plug in either a letter or maybe a word, a basic common word or name, and see if you can find the claims that way, because they don't just allow you just to search it generally. You have to type in something specific. So it's doing a search right now for any creditor that has the bank word in it for a claim over $30. Now this $30 is automatically put in here, so I just left it. And then this is from January. So at least you have this information in case you weren't able to find it. It does give you, at least a contact address and number, name on who, where you send things to. So that will probably be the best person to reach out to make sure you have all that you need. So there must be a lot of entries for this one because it's still searching. Yeah, so I found 86 entries by just typing in the word bank, and this got me everything that's over $30. So essentially, all of these banks are the ones that are getting the funds back, I assume. And so from here, you would just kind of search through, I guess, the ones that you want. Now, you may be able to, let's see if I can go back and search for maybe just amounts. I don't know if it will let me just search for amounts that are over 10,000. Let's see if I can do that. So you're gonna have to play with this thing. I'm trying to see if I can, yeah. It has to, it wants me to put in a debtor or creditor name. Let me see if I can just put in like the letter C and see. I don't know. See if that will work. No, you got to put in more information. So let's see if I put in Carol. No, nobody with a name of Carol. So see, this is where it gets tricky. How about a Smith? Nope, that doesn't work either. So let's lower this amount to maybe something that's over 150, because then I may get more. You see how you have to play with this? All right, so this time I actually did not put in a date. I just put in Smith and I put in anything over $150, and I was able to get a little bit more entries, 88. I mean, if your motto is to go after all of them, then you could start here. On the left side, it looks like these are the individuals that are getting the funds back. So here, it looks like it's an individual that's getting funds back, as opposed to a company name for this Alan. All right, and let's go to the page 2 and see. So this one is a little bit more, but that is a student loan program. So you would have to just kind of play with this and tailor this to, making your own list. I don't think from here you can print this. I think you'd have to kind of screenshot it or just like pick and choose which ones you want. These are kind of lower amounts. Holden Day Wilson. It looks like that could be maybe an individual. So you could go through, maybe pick the larger ones. This one is 600 or 6,000, but it looks like it's for some kind of resort that somebody owed money to. So let me just go a little bit more and see. Yeah, this looks like it might be for an attorney's office. So I think everything that's on the left, I think it's safe to say, like this says Mr. Smith, but this is just $177. So it really depends on what your method is. If you're just going to go after what you can and just charge the percent that you can to kind of get your feet wet, you may want to start with the smaller ones first, just to kind of see, and then work your way up. But that is how you search this. This is just for me searching under the name Smith. So you have to play with the names. Maybe search for it LLC. Leave it just like that, LLC. And then for under creditor, and maybe that will give you a whole bunch more. So yeah, that gave me 117. But again, these are companies that you're going to be researching. So maybe that's your thing and that's something that you're good at doing. Researching these companies, finding a resident agent or the Canadian equivalent to whoever that was that handles their legal affairs. So sometimes if it's a smaller company, it's not always an attorney. It looks like this is the same company in different cases. So if you could find them, you could have a lot of things to work on. So that's essentially how you find claims for bankruptcy cases in Canada. I'm sorry it's not totally complete. Again, this is not the area that I'm used to working in at all, but I was able to find this, and it is readily available on this website, ic.gc.ca. So I hope if you're in Canada and you're trying to do bankruptcy unclaimed funds, that this is helpful to you. Please comment, like, share this video. Maybe come back later and let me know how it went for you if you're able to utilize this website. If you found any other corresponding websites, maybe in different territories, or is this all complete for all of Canada? So that's something that you would really need to know. But again, if you wanted to reach out to someone, go under how to submit a claim. Here's the office right here. So if you can find a telephone number for this trust fund administrator or an email, that would be your best bet for someone to kind of answer your questions. Don't send it to me because I'm just researching this first time for this for Canada, and I really don't know how to work these. But this is where I would start if I was working it. All right. So I hope that that is helpful to you, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.